I think it's important that we ask ourselves the question, what won't he do? And when I say that, I mean in the sense that I think often as people, we tend to confuse ourselves. And we tend to believe to think that God won't do things that are good for us or things that are truly beneficial for us that we really want to happen. We tend to think that, even though we exist right now in the world, that, having nice things is a bad thing. We're not supposed to, focus on material possessions. And although to an extent that's true, in that we shouldn't focus on the material possessions, we shouldn't focus on the things of this world, and we shouldn't idolize them. That doesn't mean that God won't give things to us that are truly beneficial. That God won't truly give us things that we want if they align with what His will is for our lives. I think it's about recognizing that God's will, what He wants for us, is truly what is best for us. And in recognizing that, it's about recognizing that when something doesn't align with His will, it means that it's not truly what's best for us. It's not truly what's going to bring us the most happiness, the most peace, the most tranquility in our own lives. So when I say that, I think it's just important to recognize that if something that you want, if you want something, and you're not idolizing it, and you're not focusing on it, and you're not treating it like it's more important than God Himself, and it's something that's truly beneficial for your life, He'll give it to you. If it's truly beneficial for your own happiness, for your own peace, and it won't lead to another problem or a greater instance of negativity down the line, that He'll give it to you. And I think it's so important that we recognize that. I think it's so important to recognize that as Christians, we're allowed to have nice things. We're allowed to, exist in a place of having nice things of the world. Just because you're a Christian doesn't necessarily mean that anything that you own, you should all give it away and that you should just be living on the street. It's about recognizing that you have the capability of having nice things, and that the world was created so that we could have dominion over it, so that we could enjoy what the world has to offer before we go to heaven. So in recognizing that, it's about recognizing that anything that you want, anything that you pray for, if you truly believe in your heart that your prayer has been answered, and if it's something that's truly beneficial for you, then God will give it to you. And that doesn't require any, it doesn't require, how do I explain? It doesn't require us to almost work for it. But I don't mean that in a sense that, once you pray for something, then, you just and if you truly believe in it's beneficial, then it'll just automatically be given to you. But I mean in the sense that God's power surpasses anything that we could understand. It's the same idea of you pray for something, and then when you least expect it, it finds you. That something could just randomly appear to you one day, and then that could be the thing that you're praying for. The answer that you waited months for could just appear to you in, an Instagram reel. Or a random note that's on hands you on a random day, or graffiti on a sidewalk. And I think it's important to understand that God's power surpasses anything of the world. God's power surpasses time and space. So even the things that we think could never happen, they can happen with God. And it's about recognizing that and having faith in that God's power surpasses anything. And like I said, that's not to say that, we should just faith and by faith alone. That's how we get our prayers answered. Because faith without works is dead. So it's about recognizing that you also need to put in the work yourself in order to obtain the things that you desire. In order to obtain the things that are truly beneficial for you. And I think the way that you do that isn't necessarily from the traditional sense of work, in that you're, putting in the work like grinding or putting in long hours or doing this or doing that. I think that the majority of the work that we have to do is internal. Because I don't think life is about, or obtaining anything is about forcing it. It's rather about flowing with it. And I think in order to achieve that flow just naturally in the direction that you want to go towards, it's about substantiating the emotions of already having the thing, of already being there, of already being that person. Because once we do that, and once you're able to substantiate those emotions, then, you act more on your emotions than on your logic. So if you're able to substantiate the emotions of being wherever you want to be, being who you want to be, then it's something that'll automatically happen. You won't need to force yourself to put in the work. You won't need to force yourself to do this, to do that. It's just what's naturally going to happen because it's a part of who you are. So I think that the work that we need to put in when people say faith without work is dead is internal. Because once you put in the internal work, then you won't need to put in the external work, in the sense that it won't be something that requires effort. Rather than, keeping the same emotions that you have right now, keeping the same stances that you have right now, and then needing to put in all that extra effort to almost go beyond that, outside of you. But we can't control anything outside of us. We can only control what's inside of us. And it's about recognizing that, and it's about recognizing the importance of the internal and the importance of almost changing the way that you see the world, changing the way that you feel about the world, changing the way you feel about yourself. And in doing so, you then allow yourself to obtain all the things that you want. Because like I said, if it's something that we want, we're not idolizing it, and that we're not focusing on it too much. We're not putting so much importance on it. And it's something that's truly beneficial for us, then God will give it to us. So I think it's important to recognize that. The Bible verse I have for this video is taken from Romans 8, verse 32. And it says, "He who did not spare his own son, but gave him up for us all, how will he not also, along with him, graciously give us all things?" So this verse is directly saying, if God gave his own son to die for us, then what won't he give us? He truly loves us, he's truly kind, and he's truly merciful. So if it's something that's truly beneficial, then he'll give it to us. If it's something that will truly make us happy, that will truly add to our peace, and that will truly bring us closer to the kingdom of heaven, then he'll give it to us. And I just think it's important that we recognize that. So I hope you took something from this video, and thank you for watching.